With most of the movie releases getting stacked up for a December showdown, everyone assumed that October is going to be a pretty dull time at the movies, especially for cinema enthusiasts who want to go to the movies week in and week out. Two trailers of upcoming releases dropped in quick succession, and it represents significantly different genres that I believe deserve some discussion with all of you. On the day where most people were curious on whether KL Rahul and Virat Kohli can save us from absolute self-destruction, the Tejas trailer starring Kangana Ranaut dropped, and it extracted some mixed feelings from me. Please do chime in with your honest thoughts in the comments below as well. I would love to engage with you about your thoughts on the trailer. The film, directed by Sarvesh Mavera, produced by RSVP, that has another defense film in the pipeline called Pippa that just never seems to get a release date, focuses on an Air Force fighter pilot, Tejas Gill, played by Kangana Ranaut, who goes on a mission to either rescue one of their agents or avenge his murder executed by Pakistani terrorist groups. I always look at the glass half full, especially when cinema tries something new to push the envelope in a genre that is often left unexplored, and while I commend the effort in making a patriotic action film about an Air Force mission, the technical fallacies in the project become abundantly clear when you look at the rudimentary special effects in each frame. I have been an avid supporter of Kangana Ranaut's craft for quite some time, an actor who I believe absolutely peaked at the time when she impressed us all with movies like Queen and Tanu Weds Manu. And while she gained box office success with a venture like Manikarnika most recently, the post-pandemic world has really made her a polarizing figure among the Indian audience, having nothing to do with her craft per se, but mostly her off-screen persona and statements that seem to take over what most people adored her for, her craft. While putting forth quite an effort in films like Talaivi and Dhakad, both films barely caused any waves commercially with the audience. And while Chandramukhi 2 did reasonably well, everyone has become curious about how she will fare with her future Hindi projects. While looking at the trailer, I did notice two things. That while Kangana possesses a body language absolutely in tune with one who represents the Indian Defence Force, there was something odd about her dialogue delivery, almost there seeming to be a lack of ease when she presents her zero tolerance policy for terrorism. This cannot be an assessment of an entire performance because this is just a glimpse, but there was something slightly awkward when Kangana made analogies of the country and its love being that of the unconditional love you have for your mother or threatens those beyond the border, lacking the spunk which the dialogue writers presumably are writing for those mass moments in theatres. Kangana looks the part as she wears her uniform, but the major drawback of the film is that as the film is based on the Air Force and majority of its action sequences are going to be fighter pilot scenes, there will be a heavy dependence on CGI, and the lack of technical prowess in some of the frames becomes very clear. This makes me slightly worried about whether the makers will be able to provide that exhilarating experience for the big screen, as major portions of the action in the trailer seems to present a uniform colored background as if it was taken from a vintage flight simulator video game. The aspect I absolutely fell in love with was the background score presented by Shashwat Sachdev, who composed the music for both Uri and Attack, providing that exhilaration that associates with high-octane action in the sky. I would highly recommend you listen to the track Jaan Da that dropped with the entire album. Arijit Singh will genuinely make you fall in love again. When the Indian audience has been thoroughly entertained with a project like Top Gun, where actors were in actual cockpits during action scenes, where you actually saw actors like Tom Cruise take off from a literal carrier, I wonder whether everything from our country will just pale in comparison. While everyone thought we had a saturation of remakes and superhero films once upon a time, 2023 and 2024 seem to present a plethora of fighter jet action films, with Fighter, Skyforce and another project called Operation Valentine just announced. One can only wait and see how Tejas shapes up, but we wait and hope to be surprised, despite having seen the gold standard in the genre. The other trailer that dropped today and just disappointed me was of Ganapath, directed by Nikhil Advani. The reason for my disappointment was because I was genuinely excited for Tiger Shroff to venture into the genre of a post-apocalyptic or dystopian world. I remember talking about Indian filmmakers and how they stray away from this genre, and how I only could recall the Telugu film Aditya 369 with Nandamuri Balakrishna and the disturbing Matrabhumi to have explored what a distant future can be like for a civilization with conviction. This is something presumably the upcoming Kalki 2898 AD will also explore. When the teaser dropped, I remember getting excited for the possibilities as the movie aimed to explore the inequalities of income that become rampant and how the world is suffering due to the lack of basic amenities like food and water. The crisis that seems to be stemming from an organized militia being in control, a dictatorship that is adamant to separate the haves and have-nots, immediately made me think of the themes that can be explored in this film. Stories like Mad Max and the Hunger Games flashed in front of me, but the makers almost seemed to sideline the concept of a dystopian world and present us another generic Tiger Shroff action film with the same tropes we have seen in ventures like Baghi and Heropanti. So what presumably first showcases the impact on the world when there is scarcity and injustice transitions to become an MMA film where Tiger becomes the messiah for those who are plagued by the system. Amitabh Bachchan seems to be playing a Mr. Miyagi type of role from the Karate Kid, training Guddu or Ganapath to fight for their people in a tournament of sorts that will mimic the likes of games like Street Fighter and Tekken. This tournament may stem from granting something to those in need, and Tiger takes it up like Bhuvan in Lagan. You forgive our tax in exchange for a cricket match, and I wholeheartedly apologize for this comparison with Lagan, but you get what I mean. The special effects again seems to present stock images and tropes, making me think that the idea on paper may have sounded interesting, but there has not been a genuine investment in world building, as Tiger seems to be doing Tiger things even in this world. It's just that it's set in 2070. At least Kriti is not playing a damsel in distress and is actually kicking ass. I just hope when the world is down and out and the Tekken tournament ends and Tiger wins it for the people, we just don't get another rendition of Whistle Baja. Because right now, looking at the trailer, it seems like it's going to be just another Tiger project where he flips, jumps, kicks and ends it with a dance routine. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below of your honest thoughts on the Tejas trailer and the Ganapath trailer. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.